The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to the MikeWagnerShow@gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the Donate Listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey, from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen over 25 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, along with Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful journalist who's literally a rock star and partnering with World Star PR in the United States and England and beyond. Just a world-known writer as well, too. She wrote over 40 publications. She's also got a couple of books called the Star Trek Giant Poster Book and Star Trek Medical Reference Manual. And, of course, Long Live and Prosper. Best way to cut down the medical expenses. And she's also got a book that's coming out called Waiting for Adam, the interviews and obsessions. And she's been motivated by Adam Ant, a little bit of goody two-shoes, but that's okay by us. And, of course, it's similar to an experience, being done by one of our favorite people. We'll talk more about that. And, ladies and gentlemen, the World Star PR and World Star Journalist, the rock star and partner in the PR world, ladies and gentlemen, the very talented Eileen Shapiro. Eileen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello.
Hey, I'm doing great, and it's great to have you on. So you wrote for over 40 publications. You wrote the Star Trek Giant Poster Book, Star Trek Medical Referral Manual, and you also are a partner with World Star PR with Jimmy Star, one of the best guys in the business, and you've also just run everything, all kinds of services. You do writing and representation. I mean, wow. I look at this, it's like, how do you do it? And before we get into all that, tell us how I got started.
Well, which one?
Take your pick. How'd you get started career-wise?
All right. Okay. So when I was, I guess around 16, 17, I was going to school to Long Island University, studying nursing, and I was obsessed with Star Trek. And I met somebody who ran what they called then the Federation Trading Post, and it was a Star Trek store. They needed a writer, and I didn't know it at the time, but I was a decent writer. So I started to write for the Star Trek Giant Poster Book. After that, Ballantine wanted the medical manual, an official medical manual for Star Trek. So because I was a nursing student, I was asked to write it, so I wrote that. Then I went and got married a couple of times and had some kids, and then restarted my journalistic career after owning a couple of, one in particular, gay bar called the Bunkhouse. And I had my publisher, who I still write for, Get Out Magazine, come in and try to sell me an ad. So instead of buying the ad, I said, why don't you let me interview someone cool? So I wound up interviewing some of the RuPaul girls, and then everybody in life wants to be considered part of the gay fandom. So I started to get a lot of celebrities who wanted interviews just to be in the gay magazine. From there, I started writing for Huffington Post, and from there, Louder Than More, and then the rest is just history. Then I wrote another book. And Jimmy Star had me on his show. We became instant friends. We decided that we had more connections than anybody on this planet for PR. We started the PR company, and that's pretty much it.
Wow, that was amazing how two worlds come together. And I guess a question for you as a Star Trek fan, was this all logical?
Well, you know what? Nothing in my life is logical, but I like it that way. It works. It works for me.
I have to say, Leonard Nimoy was actually one of my favorites on the show as well, too, in the book, the Star Trek Medical Referral Manual. And also, what are some of the the medical that you point out as well, too, and how do you cure? Like, say, there's a problem for, say, I don't know, like you have a stomach ache. What's the Star Trek version of the cure? So,
okay. Leonard Nimoy actually was the first celebrity I ever interviewed in my life, and I was a big fangirl, loved him. But the Star Trek Medical Reference Manual is about how to cure aliens. Cool thing. The last Star Trek movie, Into the Dark, I guess it was the producer or director, used my book as a reference for, I think, Vulcan physiology. I think it was Vulcan physiology. So that was kind of cool. Like I said, it depends what alien you're looking to cure.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the more common aliens that you have a cure for? And what's like the most challenging alien that you had to deal with? It's like, how do you cure and get rid of this alien? Right now in our world, I think it's the human. Oh my gosh. I think you and I are in trouble. It's like, exterminate. Oh, wait, that's another program. Sorry about that. My logical senses went haywire on that one. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I hate those time travel ones.
Me too.
Oh, yes. And, of course, what was that one moment that influenced you precisely into getting into writing? And what was that aha moment that says, hey, I'm going to be a writer after all?
I think I'm still waiting for it. But, you know what? I didn't have a moment. I had a lot of moments.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to interview Adam Ant because I've been following him for, 30, 40 years, long time since he's been around.
Oh, my goodness.
I really wanted to interview him. So I wanted to interview enough celebrities to be credible enough to interview him.
Mm-hmm.
That was my driving force.
Oh, wow. Okay. And did you see him in concert or anything like that? Or was it just like, almost like trying to get the Bill Murray experience like Sadie Katz?
No. I actually saw him in concert when he first started, when he came to New York. And then he disappeared for like 17 years. And then he reemerged. And yeah, I see him in concert every chance I get now, whether it be in England, L.A., wherever.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually better now than he ever was.
Yeah, it sounds like it, too. I haven't had a chance to listen to his latest, but it seemed like he's gotten better with age as time went on. And who are some of your other favorite artists and musicians and singers and actors growing up?
Well, I had a bucket list. I wanted to interview 3 people. One was Rick Springfield, who I absolutely adored, and who, by the way, is probably the most underrated musician on this planet. And he saw an interview I did with Cyndi Lauper, and he actually came to me for an interview, so that was cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I wound up interviewing him a couple of times. He's a great interview if anyone ever wants to interview him. Then another one was Adam, of course. And the last one that I haven't gotten yet, I've met him, but I haven't gotten him, is Billy Idol.
Oh, wow. He's making a comeback.
Well, he's been making a comeback, but you know what? He was never gone. He was always cool, always performing, and always exciting. And I've seen him a million times in concert. I've met him. I met him a couple of times, actually. And those are pretty much my influences growing up. I like the punk scene.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I you know what? Musicians go in and out. I have a lot of great clients that I love. One of my clients is Scott Page from Pink Floyd. I loved Pink Floyd.
Oh, he's one of the best.
Yeah, he's amazing. So Pink Floyd also. And probably almost David Bowie. Okay, there you go. The Rolling Stones. I think probably anybody that comes around for a moment that I like there. So I like a DJ named Alan Walker. I run my treadmill to him every day. I love DJs. I love to interview DJs. I love to listen to DJs. Tracy Young is a great DJ. She just won the Grammy. First time in her category. First female in the category.
Wow.
And pretty much, I love music. I love all kinds of music. So pretty much anyone that comes my way as a client or a friend, I have to listen to. They're great.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what would you say your favorite genre, and what's one genre you like to explore more as well, too? Like say, you talked about the punk rock scene, and also some of your other favorites. Like, what's the ones you like to explore more? Like, say, with blues, R&B, or even country, or indie, or whatever it is. So,
I definitely favor punk, goth, even pop. I can listen to R&B. I love rap. Love hip hop. Love it. I can listen to R&B and appreciate it. Jazz, I'm not crazy about unless I have to listen to it. It's kind of sexy, but not my thing. Opera, never. I'm kind of a punk rock kind of person.
Mm-hmm. I have to say you've got a really good experience as well, too. I'll talk more about your book and some of the celebrities you interview in just a minute. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also iTunes, Google Play, Apple, over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here, rockstar journalist and partner with World Star PR Eileen Shapiro here on the Mike Wagner Show. She's got a new book called Waiting for Adam, The Interviews and Obsessions, especially with Adam Ant, who appears to be a goody two-shoes. And I love it when he's a goody two-shoes. And oh, my goodness. That's just one of my favorite songs. And you also had crossed paths with, like I said, Diana Ross, Dionne Warwick, Cyndi Lauper, Mary Wilson, Annie Lennox, and more. And maybe you can tell us about, some of the stars and maybe like your some of your favorites and some maybe a little bit challenging.
You know what? I can't say any of them were really a challenge. When you go to interview somebody, it's because they want to tell about themselves. Mm-hmm. So you have the upper hand right there. There was nobody that really, you know what? Sandra Bernhard, I interviewed her about 9 times now. The first interview I did with her was scary because she was the first really famous kind of celebrity I was doing after years of writing, not writing. So I thought she hated me. She was very, very she wasn't funny. She was very businesslike, very professional. And I didn't feel like I had a rapport with her. But 3 months later, her agent called and asked for another interview. So by then, I was feeling a little bit better. Like maybe she liked me because she's giving me a second chance. By the you already had met her, fell in love, loved her to death. She was just great. And now when I do an interview, she says, Eileen, you know what I'm going to say, so just write it. So she might have been my biggest challenge, only because she was first. And Adam was a challenge because it took me 6 years to get an interview with him. So that was a challenge. Mm-hmm. But once I got an interview, he was amazing. I really can't say there's anyone that I've ever interviewed that I didn't like. Most of them I stayed friends with, or I interviewed again and again and again. Billy Porter was kind of fun. Do I have a favorite? Well, after Adam, I guess Scott Page is a pretty good interview. I've interviewed him a bunch of times.
Oh, yes. One of the best. I have to say that. And he looks forward to being on my show. And he's like, his eyes light up like a kid at a candy store. I got to say that. I'm playing my saxophone. Here we go. So happy.
He loves your show. He absolutely loves it. Mickey Burns, who has a show of his own. He is an amazing interview. You know what? All of my people that I've ever interviewed are amazing. Diana Ross was a little tough because she only answered in like one word at a time.
Really?
But hey, it was still Diana Ross.
Uh-huh.
So Annie Lennox was a little... I interviewed her on the way to see Billy Idol. I was in the car when her interview was to take place, and I was in the city, and it was really noisy, and I was driving with Colin, my bestie and my soulmate, and I made Colin get out of the car because I didn't want to do the interview in front of him, and it was really hot, and I closed all the windows not to hear the noise, and that's how But she was great too. She was fun, and I didn't want to be late to see Billy Idol, so she had like I only had 10 minutes with her anyway, but it was a good 10 minutes. It was a good 10 minutes.
I was thinking about Diana Ross, how you said she was a tough interview, giving like 1-2 word answers and everything. Or maybe if you got her to sing, maybe it's more than 1 or 2 words she could sing. Maybe she could sing a song for you or something like that. I thought about it's like, maybe you can sing for us instead. What do you think?
You know what? A lot of the artists that I interview wind up singing to me or doing something crazy like that, which is kind of fun. On New Year's Eve, Scott Page called me at 12 o'clock and played Auld Lang Syne, which was cool. He was 12 o'clock. He wasn't even like midnight yet because he's in California. I'm in New York. And then he sent me a video of Auld Lang Syne, so that was kind of cool. You know what? I love my clients to death with my whole heart, and most of the people I interview I also love to death. There's a couple that were a little rough. I never write anything bad about anyone, never. So I had people like Leanne Rimes wanted to vent about the hard time the press was giving her at the time I did the interview, and I let her vent. But I didn't, I had to tell her I can't really print this because it's like very negative. And I don't think negativity belongs in the world of entertainment. So I don't. I'm not a gossip. Inquirer or People's Magazine would probably hate me. But you know what? People are people, and everybody should have a chance to tell their best story and to rise and to promote what, they set out to promote.
And also, too, if someone wanted to be like an interviewer like yourself, it's like, what's the best advice you would give to someone who wants to be a celebrity interviewer? And, of course, what are some tips as well, too, to a great interview from your perspective?
One of the best tips to an interview is to let the person finish speaking before you interrupt them in any way, shape, or form, especially when you're doing, not this kind of interview, because this is like a conversation, but when you're doing an interview for a publication, it's different. You record it, and then you have to transpose it, onto something, either a piece of paper or an iPad or something. So people finish, and then I wait till there's like a minute of space, even if it's uncomfortable, and then I ask another question because I need to give them time to finish. Because when you write something, you don't want to have to change it. You don't want to have to say, the person's like starts a new sentence without finishing the last sentence. When you interview like we're doing now, you can kind of do that. We can kind of have a conversation and talk like we're people. But when you're doing it for a magazine, it's different. It's different. I would say if you want to be a celebrity interviewer, you should definitely try it. Go to a lot of red carpets. You'll meet a lot of celebrities there. I don't prefer to interview people on red carpets. I prefer to do it on a one-on-one kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Although I did someone I did Rosie O'Donnell on a red carpet. I did Billy Porter both ways on a red carpet and one-on-one. The thing is, when you interview somebody, and this is kind of advice, it's a very intimate thing. You become it's just a one-on-one, and you become, even if it's on the phone, you become kind of like someone's psychologist for a few minutes. And I spoke to Brooke Shields for over 3 hours.
Wow.
To talk. Not because she wanted the interview. She had just written a book, but she was more into venting, talking. She didn't need an interview. She needed a friend that day. So I got a great interview from her, and we had this bond for a little while. It was kind of cool. A lot of people love to talk about themselves, but then they get sidetracked and they talk about everything about themselves, not only their whole life story, like from the time they were born. So you have to have patience with people. That's a bit of advice. You have to have a lot of patience. A lot.
And I think that's really interesting because I like to have conversations over a cup of coffee. And, of course, I had some really funny moments myself, too, that, I had interviews where it's like, a cat will jump in front or their kid will walk in, dog barking and everything. No, I just simply say in the old days, people get mad about it. They just say, come on in and introduce pets. And, of course, I had some on there, too, which they talked about being pet lovers. They talk about going to organizations, causes, everything like that. So I think it seems to me that with these spontaneities, it's like everything has changed compared to 20, 30, 40 years ago, where it's just strictly with like a telephone or a camera or whatever. Now it's like social media. You can pretty much expand everything.
Yeah, you can, which is kind of cool and sometimes kind of dangerous and sometimes kind of arrogant. But social media is the best thing in life because you can, besides doing a publication, you can put that link for the publication everywhere. Mm-hmm.
And who'd you say you had the funniest interview with that really made you laugh?
Ron Russell.
Oh my goodness. I got him on my bucket list if I need to laugh. So Ron Russell, definitely. Oh, that's amazing. And we'll talk more about what's coming up for you as well, too. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen over 25 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with rockstar journalist and partner with World Star PR, Eileen Shapiro, here on The Mike Wagner Show. She wrote for reporting publications. She interviewed some great celebrities. Also has a book called Waiting for Adam, The Interviews and Obsessions, especially with Adam and taking in the Adam Ant experience, just like Sadie Katz with the Bill Murray experience. And, of course, you've been at World Star PR for quite some time. And tell us all about how you got involved with World Star PR.
Well, I was on Jimmy's show, as I said before, and actually Ron and I became friends instantly. Matter of fact, the next week, they used to live in Pennsylvania. The next week they came to New York and we hung out. And then pretty much, I don't get paid for writing. Most publications don't pay, but I wanted the exposure. And Jimmy doesn't get paid for doing his show. So we decided we needed to eat, and we still really wanted to do what we do. You know, we wanted to write. Before that, I did real estate, and, you know, you make money doing real estate, but I preferred writing and I preferred interviewing. And between Jimmy and I, we had more contacts for people like you and publications and just more contacts than any PR we knew. And people pay a lot for PR, and we decided we were going to do something a little different and be very inexpensive and see how that worked. And it worked great. It worked great. And most of our clients that went from the time we started, which was several years ago, are still our clients. So that's, you know, that in itself is like an honor to me anyway. And Jimmy and I, we're like one person. We get along great. We've never, ever had a dispute, ever about anything. And pretty much he's good at certain things that I'm really bad at, and I'm really good at certain things that he wouldn't even attempt.
It sounds like marriage in a way, too, just like my wife of, 29 years, heading into 30, I think in 2021. It's like, oh, my gosh, we got married in 91. Oh, I'm losing track here. I have to say this. I'm getting up there. I have to tell you. So it's just like the same way. It's just like, you know, one complements the other. And you're right. That is very important. And that's something that's really needed these days. You know, someone compatible one to another, no matter what.
That's true. That's true. There's enough pressure and enough stress. Just living. All right, there's no room, there's no room in my life for any kind of negativity. There's no room in my life for conflict. I just don't do it. I just refuse.
And of course, that's also important as well, too. And also just a few more minutes with Eileen Shapiro here on the Mike Wagner Show. You've been fantastic. Love to have you back on. And what do you got plans for 2020 and beyond? What can we expect from you?
Well, I'm going to write a sequel called Waiting for Billy, as in Billy Idol. I'm going to continue doing PR, and we're working on a very cool project with Scott Page and one of my other clients, Soho Johnny. And we're going to be doing some really big things, some big concerts, producing them along with, of course, Jimmy, and working on some film production with Jimmy. And just, just having fun.
And that's what you got to do, is have fun. And that's the most important thing. And this just came to mind here. You've been doing a lot of interviews, writing, and interacting with celebrities for many, many years. What would you say the most funniest moment that you ever had?
The funniest moment I've ever had. So, I laugh at everything. So the funniest moment I've ever had. Okay, I'll tell. We went to Billy and I. Billy's my photographer, and Billy kind of follows me everywhere. We kind of work together, and we do a lot of concerts together, big concerts. And we were going to. Well, we were going to see Boy George in concert, and along with George was Fred Schneider from the B-52s, who's very cool.
Oh, nice.
Now, Billy and his husband know Fred Schneider in a lot of different ways that I will never know him. Because they're all a little bit gay. So we went to see Boy George, and we went backstage to meet Fred. And one of the funny things is Boy George's band Culture Club. They came and they happened to see Billy, and the drummer recognized him. And Billy was with his now husband, and the drummer says to Billy, "I know you." And now Billy is trying to hide, not to let his husband Mark see that he knows him. So that was pretty. I'm still laughing about that. You know what? I guess you had to be there, but it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
Oh my goodness! I'm sure you had a lot of fun with that.
Queen's full of bar stools. Those are pretty funny. I've had a lot of very funny experiences.
You know what? I think you came up with a great interview idea. Love to have you back on and talk about your funniest moments of 40 years. I think just a list, from like 40 to number 1, or however you want to do it. I think you gave me a great idea next time we get together. I think
that will be fun.
That definitely will. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Biggest influence, Colin. Colin, the guy I live with, my gay soulmate, because he's the most inspirational. He's always constantly, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. And next, one of my new clients, Howard Bloom. They are my biggest influence. And Jimmy Starr, of course. I better say Jimmy Starr.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a fantastic guy, I have to say that. Very fantastic. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Live, breathe, dream, and follow those dreams. And the universe is a funny thing. What's supposed to happen in the universe is happening. So just kind of go with it. Go with the flow. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very important, too. Once again, Eileen Shapiro, rock star journalist and partner with World Star PR in the Mike Wagner Show, also with a book called Waiting for Adam, Interviews and Obsessions. A big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, where can people purchase your books as well, including Star Trek. I forgot to mention that.
Well, the Star Trek you can actually get on eBay. It's under my maiden name, Eileen Palestine, because I wrote it when I was 16. So it's under my maiden name, Eileen Palestine. It's on eBay. It's on Amazon. You can get it there. And my current book, it doesn't go on sale until May 25th, but I will have that all over Facebook, all over my page, Eileen Shapiro. And my website is eileenshapiro.rocks. And my Instagram is Eileen Shapiro3. My Twitter is Eileen Shapiro3. And if you can't find me, find Jimmy Starr. He will find me for you.
Sounds good, and track down indeed. Once again, Eileen Shapiro, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep this up to date. Love you back on in 2020. And you've been absolutely fantastic, an absolute rock star journalist.
And Mike, you are the best ever.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.